Welcome back to the Power Woman Business Center show. The tables have turned this segment. Now, Patricia, Gracia, and I will be interviewing Bill about his new book.
Yes, we have to, because right now we're going to start bugging him with all these questions. Right, Bill?
I'm ready.
You're ready? Boom.
Well, first and foremost, the book is called Profiles in Latino Courage.
Yes. So tell us about your book, Bill. Tell us.
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, it's Profiles in Latino Courage, and then the subtitle is How Everyday Latinos Achieve Success. And the everyday is important because I'm not talking about Jennifer Lopez, I'm not talking about Mark Anthony, I'm not talking about Alex Rodriguez or Carlos Santana.
No.
I'm talking about everyday people, people like you and me, right? People that have worked hard. Not that those famous people have not worked hard, but they had some God-given talents that we don't have, that everyday people don't have. So I'm talking about everyday people, how they got started, their early years, what challenges they met, how they overcame those challenges, and how they became successful. And my whole goal in this book, and I know you want to ask me more questions, but my whole goal in this book is to inspire, educate, and motivate the next generation of Latino leaders.
I have to ask, whenabouts did this idea, come to you to write your own book regarding this topic?
All of us that get to reach a certain age kind of look back on our lives and we say, I should write a book. And then, one or two people tell you, yeah, you should write a book. And so I thought about writing a book and telling my life story. But to me, my life story is a little boring because I've already seen that movie. Okay?
Yes.
And so I decided that I wanted to write a book, again, to inspire, educate, and motivate the next generation of Latino leaders. And I wanted to talk about people who would inspire them. And so I started out, Jessica, with a list of about 30 people that I wanted to include in the book, and I ended up with 7.
How did that happen?
Well, I went through a process where I said, I want to have young people, I want to have middle-aged people, I want to have older people. I want to have North Americans, I want to have South Americans, I want to have Central Americans, I want to have Caribbeans. I want to have male, I want to have female. I don't want to have people from the same industries.
Okay.
Okay? So that's how I segmented, and I ended up with about 12 people. So you say, well, you had 12, Bill. How did you get to 7? It's important to have good stories, but it's also important to have interesting stories because the reader needs to be engaged and the reader needs to be interested in reading. And so I settled on the last 7 people that had the most powerful, compelling, and interesting stories to tell.
And I was kind of curious, and I was reading a little bit of the book, and you know why.
You got a little bit. You got a little head start on the book.
It chills. I was reading up, and sometimes, Bill, you think that your story it's not a story to share, and you think that your story is boring, and it happens to many of us. But once you're reading it, you start picturing those images in your mind, and it can make you cry.
Well,
and you were telling me that you were sharing that to me, and something that I want you to share with the audience because it has a lot of passion, all these combined emotions, because that's about successful. It's a combination of different emotions, and look at.
She's got chills. She's got
chilled.
chills as she's telling us.
Yeah.
Well, and it's very true. I mean, I spent so much time with this book. I laughed and I cried. Yes, Julio, I cry once in a while. Don't tell anybody though, okay? Because I'm macho man. But I laughed and I cried, and I thought, oh my God, so many times. And then I realized that it's not just me that's going to laugh and cry. It's the reader who's going to look at this. They're going to get to know the people who I'm writing about. They're going to be inspired, they're going to be educated, they're going to be motivated, but they're going to be emotionally attached to some of these people. You know, Patricia and Jessica, in the book, I tell the reader, you're going to see yourself in this book. Somewhere in this book, there will be you. Whether you're young, whether you're older, whether you're male, whether you're female, whether you're from South America, Central America, the Caribbean, North America, you will see yourself in this book.
And I think whether you are Latino or whether you are not Latino, because at the end of the story, we are all human beings. And we are all facing the same tragedies in our life, the same, obstacles, put it this way, obstacles, because whether you speak the language or whether you don't speak the language, because it's not about to be Latino. But we're using good Latinos examples, but it's for everyone.
It can apply to everyone.
And it's a good book for you to come back at any point in your life, you know, because you are going through different phases and then you come back to it and you see it from a different perspective.
Well, I'm hoping that people will read it. It's called Profiles in Latino Courage, How Everyday Latinos Achieve Success. I'm hoping that they'll read it, that they'll share it with their friends, that they'll put it on their bookshelf. And as you say, you may want to read it several times throughout your career, because it's a good primer for success.
Bill, thank you so much.
Thank you
for sharing your fantastic book, because I know it's going to be fantastic.
Thank you. The book is going to print at the end of January, and it'll be on your bookshelves and bookstore shelves and Amazon.com, Borders, Barnes & Noble, and all over the place. So we'll get that information out very shortly. Thank you very much, Jessica. Thank you, Patricia. As usual, you are a power woman and you do power work. Thank you very much.
You're a macho man? They don't cry?
No.
That's what you said. I'm sorry, but that's what I heard.
With that, I'm going to leave you. Have a great day, Santa Clarita. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.